In this video, we're going to look at making better choices, using computers to help us make better choices. And so most of you are probably already familiar with this already, that there are websites like Yelp, right? Where at Yelp, we can go and we can say, hey, in San Francisco, where's the best place to get pizza? And they'll bring up, ratings that people have made of different pizza restaurants and where those are located. And so we could avoid pizza places that have very low ratings, 3 stars, 2 stars, and we could go to this one that has a 4.5-star rating with that 1,256 different reviews. Like, that's probably going to serve us pretty well. So we could do that kind of thing at Yelp. We could also do it at like Rotten Tomatoes, right, where we could read about movies and what critics. So here's the audience, what the audience thought of this and what critics thought of this movie. And when we go to Amazon, we could make better choices about the textbooks that we have to buy. So for instance, if I needed to purchase this textbook, new it costs $98, but I could rent it for $31 to $58, which is cool to know about as a student. Or I could come down here to more buying choices, 67 used and new from $90.99. And that's not a very big savings. But if I was to look at a previous edition, because this one here is Understanding Computers Today and Tomorrow Comprehensive, I'm just looking to see if there's, 10th edition or anything like that. But if I look at the previous edition of that one, which is right here, oh no, this is it, 13th edition. Right, 13th edition. So I'm going to search for that book, Control C, Control V, 12, and just search for 12 and see what comes up, see if we get a 12th edition. And that's 2012. That's the one we were just looking at. Introductory, that's not comprehensive. My example is falling apart here. So here's a previous edition, right, where we have 109 used books from $1.90. So if I bought the previous edition of the textbook, so just so you know as a student, if you want to save money, publishers every year start, they come out with a new textbook every year, a new edition. And that isn't because things have changed so much that they need to release a new edition. They release a new edition because they want to continue selling textbooks to students. And if they didn't release new editions, students would just buy the used editions from each other. So very often in classes, you could use the older edition of a textbook. So if you're at the 14th edition, just go back and buy the 13th edition. And if you're on the 14th, go back and buy the 13th, right? That's what I'm saying. And you could go to Amazon, you could buy those books used, right? So here are the used books. And again, you look at the ratings. So 97% positive from 8,000 ratings for $2, right? You could get the older edition of a book versus $100. So that's a really big saver. But this is the one I really want to show you about, ratemyprofessor.com, because nothing makes a class worse than having a bad teacher. You need good teachers for your classes. And so this website will allow you to find the best teachers. So if I search for schools and go to Fresno City College, right, I can now come in here and I could search for all of the teachers, that I might be interested in taking. And then I could eliminate teachers who have bad ratings. So for instance, if I wanted to maybe take a class from my colleague Rio Waller, I could go in here and I could see what kind of a rating Rio Waller has. And her rating is 4.8 out of 5. So she has a really good rating. And of course, there's a lot of teachers in here who aren't such great teachers and they don't have good ratings. So knowing about this website is really super helpful and useful to students because it'll allow you to make better choices so you could choose better classes. So when you're thinking about taking an online class, look the professor up and see what previous students have thought of that class. And if you can avoid the bad teachers, that's going to help you be more successful as an online student.